Ancient Egypt. Just the name sounds exciting. Imagine a place with giant pyramids, mysterious tombs, and powerful rulers called pharaohs. Ancient Egypt was a civilization in Africa thousands of years ago. It lasted for over 3,000 years, much longer than any country we know today. The ancient Egyptians left behind amazing things for us to learn about. Let's go on a journey to discover this fascinating ancient world. Have you ever seen pictures of the pyramids? They are giant structures built with millions of stone blocks. Inside are secret chambers and treasures. The ancient Egyptians believed in life after death. They buried their pharaohs with everything they needed for the afterlife. This included food, clothes, and even their favorite pets. The ancient Egyptians were very smart. They invented a special writing system called hieroglyphics. These were pictures that represented words and sounds. They also made important discoveries in math, astronomy, and medicine. Let's go back in time to where it all began. Ancient Egypt started around 3100 BC. That's over 5,000 years ago. It was located in northeast Africa, along a very important river called the Nile. The Nile River was the lifeline of ancient Egypt. Every year the Nile would flood, bringing rich black soil to the land. This soil was perfect for farming. The ancient Egyptians grew crops like wheat, barley, and flax. They also raised animals like cows, sheep, and goats. The Nile River was also a major transportation route. People used boats to travel up and down the river, trading goods and ideas. This helped to connect the different parts of ancient Egypt and create a strong, unified civilization. The ancient Egyptians were skilled builders and craftsmen. They used mud bricks to build their homes, temples, and even their tombs. They also learned to carve stone and create beautiful works of art. When we think of ancient Egypt, the first thing that comes to mind is the pyramids. These massive structures are some of the most iconic landmarks in the world. But why were they built? And how did the ancient Egyptians manage to construct something so enormous? The pyramids were built as tombs for the pharaohs. The ancient Egyptians believed that when a pharaoh died, his spirit needed a safe and glorious place to rest. The pyramids were designed to protect the pharaoh's body and all of his treasures for eternity. The most famous pyramids are the Great Pyramids of Giza. These three pyramids were built by the pharaohs Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. The largest of these is the Great Pyramid of Khufu, which is over 480 feet tall. Building a pyramid was a massive undertaking. It took thousands of workers many years to complete. They used simple tools like copper chisels and wooden mallets to cut and shape the stone blocks. Then they used ramps, levers, and rollers to lift and place the blocks into position. Section 4: Rulers of the Two Lands, Pharaohs and their power. The pharaoh was the most powerful person in ancient Egypt. He was the political and spiritual leader of the entire kingdom. The ancient Egyptians believed that the pharaoh was a god king, a living embodiment of the god Horus. The pharaoh wore special clothes and headdresses to show his status. He lived in a luxurious palace and had many servants to attend to his every need. The pharaoh's word was law, and he controlled all aspects of life in ancient Egypt. The pharaoh was responsible for maintaining order and justice in the kingdom. He led the army into battle, oversaw the construction of temples and pyramids, and ensured that the gods were properly worshipped. When a pharaoh died, his son or another chosen heir would inherit the throne. The ancient Egyptians believed that the pharaoh's rule was essential for maintaining Ma'at, which meant order, balance, and justice. They believed that as long as Ma'at was maintained, the Nile would flood every year, the crops would grow, and the kingdom would prosper. Section 5: Speaking in Pictures, Hieroglyphs, and Ancient Writing. Imagine a world without letters or alphabets. How would you write down your thoughts and ideas? The ancient Egyptians faced this challenge and came up with a clever solution: hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics were a system of writing that used pictures to represent words and sounds. For example, a picture of a bird might represent the word bird, or it might represent the sound bee. The ancient Egyptians used hundreds of different hieroglyphs to write everything from stories and poems to official documents and religious texts. Hieroglyphs were carved into stone, painted on walls, and written on papyrus, a type of paper made from a plant. Only a select few people in ancient Egypt knew how to read and write hieroglyphs. These scribes, as they were called, played an important role in preserving knowledge and history. For centuries, the meaning of hieroglyphs remained a mystery to the modern world. It wasn't until the discovery of the Rosetta Stone in 1799 that scholars were finally able to decipher this ancient writing system.